Topuria is a nightmare.
His shots have now officially.
Yes, he is.
He's a nightmare.
And just landed clean.
Yeah.
He's scary.
The legs.
What he did to Josh Emmett.
Oh, heavy. Huge combination for the Spaniards.
I was like,
nasty.
Oh, man.
That was nasty.
He got stung. Oh, big uppercut. The timing is so odd. Like, look at that. He hurt. He might be out.
Nearly out.
He's
Ilia
out.
Topuria.
At only 26 years old, Ilia Topuria has established himself as one of the best featherweights on the planet. His wrestling is explosive.
Shuffling for lovely suplex there.
And his hands are even better. From Germany to Georgia, to Spain and the UFC, this is the story of the ultra-aggressive, high-octane and ruthless Ilia El Matador Topuria. Ilia Topuria was born in Germany in 1997 to Georgian parents. He spent the first few years of his life in the sparsely populated town of Halle, Westfalen, where opportunities to excel on the global stage were few and far between for anyone, let alone a gifted fighter-to-be. Owing to their son's exceptional athletic abilities as a child, Topuria's parents decided to move back to Georgia and enroll their son in a Greco-Roman wrestling school. At 15 years old, Topuria moved to Alicante, Spain, where he continued his martial arts journey at the Clement Club under the tutelage of Javi and Agustin Clement. With only 3 years of training under his belt, Topuria decided to take up mixed martial arts professionally. Topuria's MMA journey started with a couple of sensational first-round finishes against Francisco Javier Esprilla and against Khalil Marin El Chalibi. In his third fight, he had a decent step up in competition, facing Daniel Vasquez in a 140-pound catchweight bout at a local event. Early in the third round, Topuria rocked Vasquez with a crushing left hook followed by a takedown. Vasquez made his way back up a few seconds later, only to be swiftly brought back down to reality. Vasquez got up again, but was instantly slammed to the mat. Once Topuria secured a dominant position, he unleashed a big shot that forced Vasquez to turn his back and put his neck on a plate for the Matador. Topuria wasn't going to miss the opportunity. With only 3 career victories, Topuria received an opportunity to fight for the mixed fight event's featherweight title against a credible opponent, John Guarin. The featherweight title fight between the two was tougher for Topuria than he and his team expected. Topuria started in the typical fashion, raging forward to hunt his opponent down. Moments later, the Matador secured his opponent's back. Guarin survived and then gave Topuria a taste of his own medicine. The second round was back and forth as well, with Topuria pushing the action for the most part. The finish came halfway through the second round when Guarin failed to protect his neck in the clinch. 4 finishes in 4 fights. Does it get any better than that? It does, especially if you dispatch a hometown hero in enemy territory. After his success in Spain, Topuria flew to Finland to take on a local fighter called Mika Hamalainen at Cage 43. Hamalainen was a tough cookie to crack thanks to his explosive power and wrestling credentials. Topuria was unfazed by any of that and went for a takedown straight away. Failing to take the fight to the mat, Topuria resorted to fighting Hamalainen on the feet and found a lot of success. After getting battered on the feet, Hamalainen went for a takedown. Topuria sprawled and put him on his back before punching holes in his skull. Mika made his way back up and the fight shifted to 4th gear in the second half of round 1. Moments later, Topuria hurt Hamalainen and forced him to panic wrestle. Topuria snapped Hamalainen's neck with a guillotine, and that was all she wrote. After conquering Finland, Topuria set his sights on Belgium. At 5-0 as a professional, the Georgian earned a Cage Warriors bantamweight title shot at CW 94. Topuria was unfortunately not eligible to win the belt since he missed weight, but victory was all he truly cared about. As soon as the fight started, Topuria grabbed a hold of his opponent and slammed him to the mat. Topuria effortlessly sliced through Buland as if cutting through butter with a hot knife. Within a minute, Topuria put Buland to sleep and silenced a partisan crowd.
Wow! Ilia Topuria!
Easy as you like. To others, it may sound perfect, but for Topuria, it wasn't since all his wins came by way of submission. To succeed at the top level, he knew he needed to let his hands go, and that is exactly what he did against Stephen Goncalves at Brave CF29, where he produced one of the scariest KOs in the promotion's history. The South African was a tough and experienced campaigner, and despite being taken down early, he defended well.
This is exactly what Ilia Topuria wanted.
3 minutes into round 1, Goncalves made his way back to his feet. At range, Topuria pressed Goncalves and cut off the cage. Moments later, lightning struck.
Oh my God! Wow!
With 8 wins, 8 finishes, and now a thunderous one-punch KO to boast about, Topuria was signed by the UFC, mainly because the world's top promotion didn't want to lose a talent of the highest caliber, and secondly because the UFC featherweight division needed new blood to challenge Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski. Topuria's UFC debut was successful but hard-fought. He used his wrestling to churn out a decision win against Youssef Zalal. In his next fight, Topuria put the featherweight division on notice. In his second promotional fight, Topuria faced veteran Damon Jackson. The Spaniard used jabs and body-to-head combinations to soften Jackson up for 2 minutes. Jackson had his moments too. Topuria continued to land the bigger shots.
De generar presión con el volumen.
In the 3rd minute, Topuria rocked Jackson with a massive uppercut and then slept him with a right hook.
Preparado, gancho al cuerpo. Y fíjense la mano derecha después cuando entra.
Good God.
Topuria's next KO was even better. In the summer of 2021, Topuria locked horns with grappling wizard Ryan Hall. Despite being a grappling ace himself, Topuria avoided going to the mat with Hall. At the range, Hall was spinning and rolling all over the octagon. Once his move became too predictable, Topuria pounced on him like a tiger waiting for the right moment to attack his prey.
Being defensively responsible.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then boom, punch. Now he's just letting go.
And
And these
Hall.
are nasty.
Topuria continued his world dominance when he stepped in to fight Jai Herbert in a lightweight fight at UFC London in March 2022. Due to his war of words with Paddy Pimblett,
Pussy. What? Do it? Do it? Come on, do something then. Do something, stand up. What'll you do? You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing, you little fart. Go and sit back down. Sit back.
Topuria faced hostility from the crowd and that forced him into overextending. As a result, he was dropped with a head kick in the 1st round.
No way!
Topuria survived thanks to his wrestling. In the 2nd round, Topuria was less aggressive, but he still pushed the pace. Topuria threw feints and walked Herbert down with calculated pressure. Once the Spaniard had his foe against the fence, he launched bombs, one of which landed on the button, and boom!
Right hand up. Jai Herbert was out cold before he hit the canvas.
In his post-fight interview, Topuria made a nice little call-out.
England, love you guys. You're our guy here. He's a Paddy Pimblett, win or lose. I want to fight you next and kick like I did the last time. You.
The call-out wasn't accepted, but Topuria fought someone tried and tested in his next UFC fight.
I don't care what he focuses on, brother. He knows I'm showing up to whoop ass.
At UFC 282, Topuria fought Bryce Mitchell in a highly anticipated fight, which was supposed to be razor close. Instead, it was one-way traffic throughout. Seconds into the fight, Topuria clipped Mitchell with a stiff combination. Mitchell tried to wrestle, but he couldn't find much success. Topuria continued to test Mitchell's chin in the 2nd round with stinging punches. Halfway through the 2nd round, Topuria rocked Mitchell with a massive overhand right. Mitchell tried to panic wrestle, but Topuria sprawled, took a dominant position, and finished the fight with an arm triangle choke.
Still undefeated.
With that, he was in the featherweight top 5. In the summer of 2023, Topuria passed his toughest test to date with flying colors against Josh Emmett. Topuria set the tone early with his methodical, calculated, and explosive approach.
Started mixing in those kicks and made a huge difference. Oh, yeah.
Each combination was thrown with bad intentions.
Huge combination for the Spaniard.
As the fight progressed, the gap between Topuria and Emmett grew wider. Round 4 was the meanest of them all, as Topuria bruised and battered his opponent. Following a brief examination at the end of round 4, Emmett was allowed to fight to the 5th round. Topuria didn't put his foot off the gas, winning by multiple 10-8s and even a rare 10-7 at the end of their 5-round battle. Needless to say, he called out the division's king, Alex Volkanovski.
I
I know that I can finish anyone in this division. So, just was tough tonight, but I beat him pretty easy. Don't going to be like different with Alex, you know. The rest of this is going to be the same.
A few weeks after Topuria's big win, Volkanovski decimated Yair Rodriguez to add another successful title defense to his resume. Topuria was in attendance that night, and the two had a fiery face-off. For Topuria, it was a verbal agreement of their showdown, so when Volkanovski tried to call out an old foe in a weight class above, Topuria reminded him that he could run, but he could not hide. What a banger of a fight that would be. In the red corner, you have the best fighter in the world, and in the blue corner, you have an undefeated prospect who has the style to give the reigning champion a run for his money. Both fighters are Greco-Roman wrestling specialists with fists of fury, so when they step inside the cage to battle in a clash for the ages, there will be fireworks. The big question is, will Dana White make it happen? He will, because Topuria is a massive star back home in Spain, who is backed by one of the country's top footballers in 2010 World Cup winner Sergio Ramos. Topuria has Georgia and Germany behind him as well, and with the high-octane style that he possesses, he has all the skills to be Spain's greatest matador.